Hello, Rick and Morty creator Dan Harmon with his erstwhile companion
Hi, Justin Roiland here.
Roiland.
And we got ourselves, who else? Speak
Dan
up.
Guterman.
Oh, it's Dan Guterman, writer of the episode.
Ryan Ridley. Egan Cinema, what's that?
That's my best friend, or a best friend of mine from childhood's last name.
People think
shout
that's
out.
a reference to some sci-fi writer from the 50s.
Oh.
They think
I squeezed his last name in, and then in season 1, I got Milan and Haas for the ad agency. That was two of my other really good friends.
I didn't know any of this. By the way, we did try to squeeze in, I don't know if you guys were ever into this idea, but I remember Guterman and I were talking about, actually cold opening the episode with the end of the Ball Founders movie. I thought that would have been cool. But
Oh, yeah, we
just didn't have time for it.
We tried, and I was just like, we're already long on the episode, and also it was too late. It was there was just no way to we just didn't have
The
the time.
B story of this, which is Summer being kept safe by the car, is based on it's the second example in these commentaries of Justin just having a really specific idea that really should not be how you work, but it just stuck. It worked because you heard Cassie do the voice of the car or something.
No,
not
Kari
Kari.
Wallgren, yeah.
And you just were like, oh, can we do an episode where the car talks more?
Yeah, it was in 202 when she's like when they arrive when Morty steals the ship and crashes and kills the Crumbopulous Michael.
And it worked great because the whole microverse idea, oy vey. Took a lot of conversation and stuff, but the whole time the agreement that the B story was just Summer waits.
Yeah, she's in the ship. At one point they were in space.
Super simple, yeah.
yeah, because the biggest nightmare with the original A story was it started to feel too much like the Lisa's Tooth episode of The Simpsons, where they go back to the whatever that idea was. But we know for sure that B story would never be something The Simpsons would do. Or
Yeah, we
most
went
other
through
shows.
3 major rebreaks on this, and the first 2 versions of it were a lot closer to Simpson-esque.
Yeah.
We finally got away from it.
Do you remember what? Because it was.
I remember that we were popping in and out
of the same world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were
As
seeing it
advanced.
through time, and then all those kind of historical.
And by the way, it was in the garage because we had somebody leaving the microverse, and remember that old fucking nugget that
Yeah, the
keeps
thing we
coming back.
finally put our finger on was all those historical jokes just really didn't feel like us, and the moment we jettisoned them,
I feel like I was the reason why we were clinging to all that.
By the way, I wonder if people I went out of my way to make this little room feel like this was the inside of the battery and that was it. You know what I mean? Like when they first teleport in, it's just like this closed off room. So that way when it blasts off, it was sort of like, holy shit, there's fucking more.
I think they got it.
I hope it worked.
Introduce that life to the wonders of electricity.
Yeah, the hardest part of this episode was just all of this stuff, explaining what the concept was.
the
and
Google
The whole
boxes.
episode is. The entire episode is explaining.
The best kind
Finish
of
explaining by the end of the first act, and then we do something.
It really was a goddamn nightmare.
People do like this episode. a lot,
I
though.
fucking love this one.
I think it's great.
I was nervous.
But you're right. The
fucking absurd.
second act is where it fucking just it's like
picks up.
It's
like an
great.
episode made of sweat. It's beautiful, but it's and then you step closer. Did you use pastel watercolor? No, sweat. Fucking sweat for no reason. So much sweat.
I remember that guy's hair was orange, and I was like, too much like Conan.
Oh. That's the kind of stuff you won't know until you watch the commentary.
I just didn't want to confuse anyone. Like, why is there Conan O'Brien looking guy on the?
It's our proxy.
Now slap on these antennae. These people need to think we're aliens. What? Why?
I'm having so many flashbacks to the difficulty in writing this, and I am not sharing.
There was
Well,
a point
the-
when also there's going to be a Star Trek. Remember that? Like a Star
Oh my
Trek
god!
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit!
where they ended up in.
But honestly,
Oh my God in heaven, I'm gonna die.
but here's what's
and there's
crazy.
a character named Spork.
Spork. Yeah.
But here's the
And
thing.
that's when I
Tendered your
withdrew
resignation.
inside myself for a day.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, we went down a lot. I mean, I will say that path was a stronger one than like just the Jesus of Nazareth version.
Well, because it was like Rick had created an infinite universe
inside. Yeah, it was the discovery that he created a microverse, and then there was an intelligent
There
race
was a
of
Star Trek
Trek,
series happening in it, and they would come. Oh my god!
And he was like, "Holy shit!"
I will say though, the stuff that we end up throwing away is still probably a lot better than a lot of
Than Big Bang Theory.
Oh, sure.
Well, let's not shit on The Big Bang Theory, a show that I've yet to watch.
No, why would you shit on a show
Let Justin
that
watch it first, and then we
is,
can come back and shit
makes
on it.
$1 billion a minute?
Yeah. Zeep Tower.
It's not about
and,
money, Dan. I don't know if you realize
Of course, we
that,
got
but
Stephen Colbert to do this episode.
Thanks to Goody's.
Goody's old boss.
And he was super nice about it and super great.
Yeah, he kicked ass. Very, very
Guterman worked on the Colbert Report.
fun to work with him.
know it's not about money.
Yeah, he kicked ass. He was really great to work with on this.
What are you guys talking about?
Stevie
Colbert.
Colbert. Stevie Colbert. The T is not silent.
I dropped out of school. It's not a place for
We had to record him over ISDN, which is always a little nerve-wracking.
What does ISDN stand for, Ridley? Tell the audience.
International Signal Digital Network.
Yep, that's right. Good work.
Thanks.
And look at his whatever he calls it, miniverse, microverse.
I think he's the miniverse guy.
Look how much bigger his tank is compared to Rick's.
Well, yeah, it's a little more primitive.
It's like the original cell phones.
Wasn't there a line where he's like, "Why is it the size of a lobster?"
Lobster tank.
Is that still in here?
It's still in there. It's during their fight.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's later.
It's a
Oh,
diss.
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
It's something Rick's thinking now, but he's not.
Yeah, but like he's playing it cool because yeah.
But he must know that the answer is because, well, the universe you created, like, it's on you.
Yeah.
Hold on to something. I put an
I love that his ship is so much like shinier and just better than Rick's.
It's more of a show off.
Yeah, and his world is like Frank Lloyd Wright.
I love that one of these little puddins down here is going to be a Nathan Fielder.
Yeah.
That's so perfect.
That was very exciting when we cast Nathan Fielder.
Is that the Blue Bull Yank?
easy. With no disrespect, I really think what you're doing here is unethical. It's not cool.
This is another example of a thing inside of a thing.
Yeah.
We've done
Which
that many
we've
times.
started season 3 by swearing we will never do it again.
I don't mind it honestly. Like
It just causes so much goddamn trouble.
it does, but we should
Yeah,
just do,
it's a
every
lot of
episode
thinking.
we should do more thing inside things.
Gonna get laid in college. Rick, a word? What the hell was that? I know. Eek Barba Turkle.
I remember like all of this had to be reboarded for staging. I feel like.
Yeah, because we wanted to. What we didn't do the first time was have it match the first flyover.
Oh, yeah.
And then we
were
reboarded to match exactly the first flyover.
I want to
we-
say
yeah.
that while we were recording this, we recorded Colbert over that fiber op line, and I'm going to tread carefully enough that this will end up not cut by just saying he was going through a family emergency when we recorded with him, and not only was he so professional and like lending his voice to this at a time in his career when he was probably the most sought after human being for that week to do an interview or anything, and he was doing a voice in our cartoon, but at the exact same time he was having like a little family emergency that he kind of explained to us very politely and was like juggling while he was doing his takes.
Yeah.
And I was listening to him not only,
No physical force.
do us this favor, but also demonstrate that he was a mensch.
Well, Guterman says he's not only the best, but also the most brilliant and funniest, smartest guy he's ever worked for. So I think that's an important.
It's a list of 2 people, but yes, for sure.
The giant stack of flesh cubes.
Well, he's like 70, isn't
We
he?
added those
Like
in later.
his wisdom
For
experience.
continuity.
He's accrued a lot of it.
This scene, by the way, is the
This
best.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
scene
It's
is
the
probably my
greatest.
favorite of
We
the
got
second
so
season.
excited.
It
in the room.
might be the darkest. I mean,
it's
people
my
say the
favorite.
show's dark, but this is
So
this is dark,
great.
bro.
Well, 'cause
That's-
you-
yeah, I was so excited about this because we were getting so upset.
Well, I think there's an original version where it was his father.
No.
And it's got no. I think there was a version where it was his father that came out of the canister. But
I
the
just
fact
love
that it's
that
his kid.
you
Well,
know
the thing
that-
that I want to remember is that like the shit that sounds so dark, then you animate it, and it's like it all just looks like Family Guy. So like I want to go darker.
Yeah.
Like because I remember being like, fuck, this is too fucked up. like the kid, like with the drowned to death, and the car imbued the kid with like it's not just the memory of the kid that's being used as a crowbar. It's the fact it's the father's helplessness.
Yeah.
It's the kid going, why didn't you do anything? like why didn't you do? And then as he turns, the timing of him turning to mush, the car is using all of it to follow Summer's directive.
Yeah, bending over backwards to make sure he doesn't hurt anyone
leave the car
physically.
alone.
Yeah, and the car's like, honestly, if you would just let me hurt people.
Yeah. People would get less hurt.
I wish I think I asked for this. I wish there was a T-shirt that just had that little kid on it that just said, "Leave the car alone, Daddy."
Coming out of the popping out of the
car,
little
just
canister.
saying, all of you have loved ones. All of you have
All
regrets.
can be returned.
All can be returned.
All can be
taken away. It doesn't. It makes no promises. It just says like, do you want to go down the roads that you avoided by becoming a fucking SWAT officer? The answer is
program that function.
Nathan Fielder as the little.
I wasn't here for
Kyle.
his record, but
No.
He was great.
You were, right, Red?
Yeah.
And Justin?
I fanboyed out on him a little bit.
Him and also fucking Krombopius Michael, Andy Daly, both came in, and then after they left, I watched their shows and marathon their
you
shows.
didn't watch their shows
didn't.
before?
Well, I mean, I knew Andy Daly from forever ago,
Yeah,
and I was already
yeah.
a fan, but I hadn't seen Review until after the record,
Yeah.
and then I hadn't
Same
seen
thing
Nathan
with-
For You until
yeah.
after the record of this.
You're a huge Nathan for you.
Oh my god, I fucking love
Yeah,
that
so
shit.
I had already been a fan, and I remember I walked him to his car, and the whole time I was asking him, and that one episode when that woman said this, like, did she really say that? I mean, that's crazy. What were you thinking? And he's like, well, it's weird.
Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, basically.
a lot of television production is
Not
the
bad.
result of a long process.
That's really good.
If you had your own show, you'd probably be as bored of it as I am right now. I thought I'd take a break by showing up and doing this voice. Instead, I get besieged by this bullshit. Goodbye.
Yeah, that was the subtext, certainly.
I just like that he kills himself. I remember like he was originally supposed to jump off the cliff, but then there was a problem because it was like, well, he's got to take
he's got to take the whole fucking
Yeah,
show
then-
with him.
No.
Yeah.
Rick would have more to work with.
Fantastic that's his choice of suicide.
Is he doing that to screw them? Like,
No,
did he-
it's just like to
No.
him. He's like, oh, this is the easiest way to kill myself. Is it just
I will say yes.
That
he's
is the
doing
little-
that to
yeah.
screw them.
'Cause
Absolutely.
now they have to
Those are
resort
his
to this.
only gods, and he would stabbing them with an ice pick wouldn't give him as much satisfaction as just knowing that they get to spend the rest of their lives
in his
locked in his
miniverse.
illusion.
Or micro? Wait, it's microverse, miniverse, teenyverse, teenyverse.
Wait, this is. Hold on.
Yeah, this is Kyle's world. So it's the teenyverse.
Yeah, but don't flatter yourself. There's always
What did you want?
This scene has my favorite exchanges. This is the carbon.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is the top
your
of Act
mother's
Two.
ovaries.
I didn't ask to be born.
crafty son of a.
You crafty motherfucker.
I can craft. This is all Minecraft shit. Crafting.
How convenient that they got these caves directly across from each other.
It's like Batman and the Joker. I mean, guys, you're not kidding anybody. That's what Morty's saying. Like,
Yeah.
just work together.
Look, we worked hard enough on this episode. Let's put the caves.
I didn't even
Let's
think
line
about
them
it.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of Land of the Lost.
We put in the work.
There should just be a slee stack somewhere, and then we'd have the full thing.
I thought it was. I remember writing those scenes and picturing them. They were just like across a river, or they were just
Right.
close to each other. And I was like, it's a cartoon, but I loved that they
Looks great.
they put caves like at a high altitude because it was like, oh, they're smart. They would be out of predators.
Yeah.
Authorize emotional countermeasures.
If you're talking about the milk.
I love this fucking B story.
Confirmed.
This is all Erica Hayes boarded all of summer in this whole episode.
Security measure in compliance with your parameters. But I do want to say, you are not making this
I feel
easy.
like Summer is like a combination between Spencer, of course, doing the voice, and then us, Harmon, like writing her, and then Erica Hayes sort of just the way she poses her, and I don't know, it's fucking.
Is she your lead summer animator?
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
we would give her whenever possible, she would do Summer. Yeah.
Oh, and this was entirely, I believe, the animator's choice. It was great. The snake falcon battle.
I think all we wrote is that they fight. We wrote that they have like Iron Man suits made out of Robinson Crusoe material, and I think all the animators made all these decisions.
Oh, that
This is
snake falcon
Dominic.
thing was awesome.
Dominic directed this one as well, and I know he had a lot of fun with all this stuff.
The tree people.
The tree.
And this is all, I didn't touch this
These
concept.
fucking tree
Like, you guys came up with this.
Yeah,
Late-
Guterman and I
late on a
were,
Sunday
yeah,
night.
we were working on this. It was a great experience working on it, and it was. I loved it. And then we wrote Tree People, and then I remember I got really mad because the first designs
don't go
were.
negative on this.
It's not negative.
He just saw the first designs and they look like trees, and
Yeah.
it was. I hadn't seen them yet either. I was like, no, I wasn't thinking that.
I mean,
I told Ridley, I
everybody's
said, calm
great,
down.
but sometimes there's,
Ridley fucking red in the
misunderstandings
face.
and yeah.
I just love the
screaming.
bit that Morty went out, had his adventure.
Right.
Like, it's been forever, and then
Rose
he's
to
like,
the
and then he
top.
takes them aside and goes, "You gotta get the fuck out of here. We gotta get out of here. These people eat shit for money."
Which shows that Morty is a survivor.
Yeah.
He's diplomatic.
Yeah.
He knows how to.
No, I love it. It was all. I also love that it all was written in my complete absence. And I
remember
never
table-
touched it.
I remember-
I don't.
We were nervous about it.
I
'cause,
remember
we went out on a
tabling
limb,
it
but
and like
it worked.
laughing my ass. You remember when we tabled
Yeah.
it and I was like fucking dying at
That
this?
is perfect.
I couldn't even get through the table read of that line because I was laughing so hard.
Not bad. I guess you're an okay.
Oh, and then
player,
this
Tom.
whole idea of intercutting the time
This was
differential is so
Harmon,
cool. That
yeah.
was your
during his last pass.
Yeah, because he's counting down like
Again, sweat.
it's so great.
Like, it's so
It- it-
sweaty.
It's so
No,
good.
it's
So
not.
if you line up everything and maintain a time differential,
People love it. It worked great.
Are you guys catching a theme out there? Harmon hates his writing. He hates himself.
I like.
We all love him and his writing,
Yeah.
but he hates it.
Come work for me and be better than me. Just let me hang out. I love it. I'll still take all the money, but I'll praise you so much in the commentary.
You hear that, chosen one?
That's right. We're talking to you, Steven.
It is your destiny.
Jacques.
Somebody with schizophrenia is gonna come find us.
My name is Stephen Jock.
Steven Jacques.
This is another great
You know he's
shot
out there.
from the animators.
Sometimes we'll write stuff, and Dan does his pass, and it's always makes it so much better. And then so sometimes I just go, oh, we can write Go Sanchez ski shoes, and he'll make it something
Replace it.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't. I'm like, wait, no.
That's so funny though.
Because then I'm like, well, I either have to replace the ski shoes
Yeah.
or.
You mean you'd leave the go-go?
Listen, the Go-Go
No, I was like,
Sanchez
what?
ski
Why
shoes
does he
are
have
fine.
ski shoes? And then, yeah, well, the only answer is because of Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. I mean, this is also the episode where we find out Morty can turn into a car.
But we don't
So-
use it.
Well,
Yeah, we
the
do.
tag.
No, I know that's what I think.
Oh
is
yeah,
great.
yeah. We don't use it. It's not used in an effective.
Sometimes we get frustrated, like one of these ideas, like, oh, Morty turns into a car. I think was saying you were pitching a lot, Justin.
Yeah, it was one of the
I can't remember.
original
But anyways,
radio
and
play-
it's like
or-
almost like building an episode around it. Was
We
I
were
think,
going to do it as a B story.
and then just the fact that we threw it in as like an off. Sometimes
Way
those
better that
things
way,
are
though.
way better.
Way
that way.
yeah,
better.
we got off on the fact that the taxi arrives just in time
Yeah.
to cheat the audience out of.
yeah, it's like
Seeing
never
something.
mind. He's really trying too.
This is Ridley.
They spent so much time with color in the miniverse by sort of like a slow transition into like overcast.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, like from when they leave Zeep Tower to when the fight happens, like every shot is like a new like
Time of day?
yeah, just
That's cool.
pushing into. And I remember looking at it, I was like, this is all awesome, but you guys are. I would have been happy with just keeping it sunny out. Like I would have
tell them
never.
that.
No, well, I mean, I love what they did, but they killed themselves over it, and they were there till 1 a.m. every night.
Channel 101 alum Mike McCafferty
Mike
as the
McCafferty.
president, who we did talk briefly about what if he was just a Keith David president again, because it's a different,
Right.
it's a tandem reality or parallel reality, but it's funny
Yeah.
that it's a totally new guy
I like that it's
who happens
different
to,
enough that-
but he happens to still use the same catchphrase or whatever you want to call it. You know?
I love the spider.
Yeah.
That's something that comes with The Office. Just loving champions.
Loving grabbing somebody's hand or a
Like,
creature's
that's
leg.
when you become a president, and someone does good by you, you instinctively grab their wrist and say, "I love this guy."
this blank.
Oh, the eyeball thing. I remember it was a problem when it was Rick doing it to Zeep, but for some reason it was not a problem, or maybe it still was a problem. I don't know.
We debated that, but
Like get at
All that
Zeep doing it
intelligence
to
and just
Rick.
a good old-fashioned scuffle.
Yep. Good
Donnie
old
Brook.
fisticuffs.
No
and he
gadgets.
spits on him.
I love that he spits on him. It's like, gee, and then Morty's like, "Geez." It's so funny. Because Morty knows. He's like, "Geez, he didn't need to spit on him."
Summer's so traumatized. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Let's see. Hey, wait. Huh? I don't get it. Of course you
We should bring the car back at some point
Yeah. The car is
to do
great.
something
That
different
never
with
went
it.
away.
Yeah, the car is definitely not. I mean, it's gonna be around.
No, for sure, man.
That's only in the morning.
Because we talked about that. Like, we don't know. It might have taken Rick like 9 years to make that battery. Like, he can't just make 9 of them.
Yeah.
Like, he would have been bummed out to have to replace this thing.
But works for me.
So if it's still in there, and he was like taking it for granted that
Yeah, I think we talked about a possibility of returning to it and having like Zeep's great-great-grandson.
that's some Wrath of Khan shit.
Yeah.
I love that Rick automatically knows that because there's flies in the ice cream, Summer did something.
It's Summer's fault. And he said with your boobs out, which by the way was completely like I did that in the booth. That wasn't in the script, and I did not expect it to end up in the final.
How could he possibly know the series of events that
You did with
led-
your boobs out. you ruined ice cream with
Oh,
your
by the way,
boobs out.
Alan Tudyk did multiple voices in this episode, and he was awesome. I mean,
Oh,
both,
yeah,
both
Alan-
just as a voice actor, and he was just so cool.
Yeah, he did.
We honestly
also-
felt like we got Alan Threedick.
That's how good he was.
But
almost.
I don't think Justin watched Firefly or Serenity.
at that
or whatever
point,
it's
I had
called,
not
until,
watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin's a master of. We cast somebody, and then he goes, "Who is this guy?" And I go, "You don't know who this person is?" No, and then
But
6 months later.
but I always recognize their talent.
It's like
in the booth.
Degrassi in space.
I was like, oh, this
I
guy's
don't know
great.
who it is either.
Oh yeah, this is.
There it is.
It's canon.
into a
He
car.
can turn into a car. All right,
All right, that's it.
get out. Back to work.
Yay!
Did you get any of that?
It's a good show.